Okay, you're live.
Okay, welcome everybody. Let's just do an opening prayer to get us started. Merging the heavens and earth, the heart and the mind. Hashem Yikud Kudushabri Hu Ushinate Bi Ilu Imulaya Chamuke Bavavke. Buda Shalom Hashem Kozrael Kolam. Amen. It's nice to connect with people in this way. I'm going to kind of talk about something that I think is very relevant to people, which is how to protect yourself more from all kinds of inflammation, viral diseases, and so forth. And there's an article that's come out in a few places that I think is really good. It's called GreenTea. I love green tea. And Zinc provide even better protection than hydroxychloroquine. Now that's interesting. Okay, so what's that about? How is that possible? Well, first of all, given the fact that it's so hard to get the hydroxychloroquine, we have to look at other possibilities. So I began to focus on green tea, which I like, and green tea has some things in it are really, really good for us as protection, okay? And one of them is unique polyphenol called epigallocatechin gallate. Big name, but what it does is it's a zinc ionophore. What does that mean? Well, hydroxychloroquine is a zinc ionophore. So it means it brings zinc into the system. Zinc has a multiple levels of antiviral effect, okay, multiple levels. And it's really good for over 350 biochemical necessary enzymatic reactions in the body, particularly having to do with immune system and generalized health. So it's zinc is obviously very, very important, not just simply as an antiviral. It's way more than that. But the epigallocatechin gallate helps bring zinc into the system. So it's a zinc ionophore. That's what it does. And that's the key point that I'm talking about, okay? It keeps the EG, well, I'm going to give you an initial. I'll say the whole thing. Epigallocatechin gallate, it keeps it from getting oxidized and helps it kind of get into the system, and therefore it helps bring the zinc into the system. They kind of go over hand in hand. So green tea is the key here. For you people who are tea drinkers, and maybe most of you know my wife is a tea connoisseur, so I know a little bit about green tea, okay? And I kind of estimate about 6 cups of green tea a day. Now, that can get people urinating a whole lot. So what do? Well, I've actually, at our pharmacy, actually have a green tea concentrate. Each dropper is equal to 1 cup. That actually has made my life a lot easier, if you get what I'm saying here. So people began to look at, well, where correlate green tea drinkers with protection from viral infections. Obviously, the one we're talking about is people's concern. And they see in Japan, Vietnam, and China, they have lower rates of obviously the COVID-19. And there is a connection. It's not proven. In fact, I won't say anything I'm talking about has been proven, but we have clinical suggestion. That's as far as we can go, but that's worth doing when you're talking about things that aren't harmful, like green tea, okay, for zinc supplementation. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Now, the epigallocatechin gallate actually also, besides the fact that it brings the zinc into the system in itself, it also attacks viruses. And that's what some of the research is saying. So it attacks certain structures within the virus. So that's another really good thing. So it binds also with viral proteins, okay? And that's obviously pretty important. Green tea also contains theanine. Now, theanine is really good for many brain functions. It helps people relax, but be alert at the same time. And this also attacks viral or COVID-19 structures. So theanine, in addition to being a nice relaxant and really good for people, a lot of people need theanine to help relax and focus their mind at the same time. So tea drinkers are a little bit more poetic than coffee drinkers. That's a little bit what we're talking about. It's the theanine is part of that. But the main idea is the green tea, which contains the epigallocatechin gallate, really maximize the transport of zinc into the cell. So the word zinc ionophore is what we want to hear. And also it helps it cross what we call the lipid barrier. And the lipid barrier is what we have in cells and also the nucleuses, okay? So now there's another compound in the green tea called quercetin. A lot of people haven't heard about it. I'm doing some work with people in Dr. Cousens Global, and they hadn't heard about it. It's like, well, what? But I'm telling you, quercetin is a super winner. So I want to, and it's a plant flavanol, okay, and it's found in fruits and vegetables and leaves and seeds and grains and red onions, which I don't like so much, but red onions, and ginkgo biloba and St. John's wort. It's pretty out there. So what does quercetin do? It decreases inflammation. That's pretty important when we look at the overreaction to the body has that can create real inflammation in the lungs. It decreases inflammation, it decreases free radicals, which activate inflammation. That's pretty important, okay? It decreases tumor necrosis factor, which is, again, an interleukin 6. These are all inflammatory things. What I'm saying is both quercetin, which is in green tea, and also epigallocatechin gallate, both modulate the immune system so we don't have an overreaction and severe pulmonary edema and inflammation, which we're getting. They also found that if people take quercetin, basically, this is just a research paper. I'm not making a recommendation. I'm just saying the research shows that people took 500 milligrams of quercetin for 8 weeks. People had less early morning stiffness with rheumatoid arthritis, okay? And they also saw that they had less allergies. And interesting enough, other research, okay, this is all documented, but I'm not going to give you every single footnote, okay, shows that it has an anti-cancer effect, particularly with prostate, liver, lung, breast, bladder, and colon, and also adrenals. Also has an anti-interstitial cystitis, which is actually a very difficult thing to treat. Layers of the bladder get infected and inflamed. Now, it also protects you against brain degeneration. Now, that's pretty good, right? A lot of people are very concerned about brain degeneration, and specifically Alzheimer's, and specifically research shows some reversal, both in animals and in humans. So it's interesting that quercetin is also found in coffee, which different topic, but people who drink coffee for 5 years actually have better brain function, better cognition. It's really better for you. It also decreases, about 1/3 of Americans have high blood pressure. Now, I just want to say only 2% of vegans, and somewhere between 26 and 33% of who aren't vegan have high blood pressure. And the quercetin helps decrease the blood pressure. And the research shows it's about 500 milligrams a day. So again, I'm not telling you what to take. I'm just telling you what the research says, okay? It also has an anti-aging effect. It decreases the aging of cells. It increases athletic performance. Oh, that's pretty good. And I'm going to say, again, this is in human studies. It's endurance that we're talking about. It also helps balance the blood sugar, which is how I got into studying quercetin, because my treatment of prevention of diabetes naturally. These are key things. So the quercetin protects against viruses getting into the cells, and it tends to disable them. So it decreases the cytoplasm is what's inside the cells. It decreases an inflammation of that. So that's a lot of things. It also helps your cells become less acidic, and therefore we have better function. That's a good thing too, isn't it? Okay. Now, what's also interesting is it decreases the function, this is quercetin now, of RNA viruses. Get the word RNA viruses, because COVID-19 is an RNA virus. So it decreases their replication. Wow, that's pretty exciting. Okay, well, I'm going to just put it that way. So I'm going to summarize it a little bit, because this is a lot of information, but that's part of my job. You know, as a holistic physician, besides spiritual teacher, it's like, wow, we need to eat and live in a way that protects us. And I have this all out in my protocol for COVID-19 on the newsletter. Okay. So what does it do? It's an antioxidant. Okay, that's good. It is anti-inflammatory, which is super good. It modulates the immune system. So we have two things that modulate it. Okay, galactocatechin gallate and quercetin, both which are in green tea, which we can get the concentrate. We do sell it at our store. Okay, it increases mental and physical clarity and endurance and really performance. Generally, that's good for everybody, right? Yes, it's antiviral. It's a subtle psychostimulant because of what I mentioned here. It also protects us from platelet clumping. So that protects us against getting blood clots. Okay, I'm going to mention that because that is something that shows up with viral pneumonias as well as the COVID-19. That's something that they don't talk about, but it does happen, and it is increased. Okay. The other thing I like about it is it stimulates mitochondrial regeneration. So why is that important? Well, normally, people have around 3,000 mitochondria per cell. These are the energy factories of the cell. Pretty important. I see a lot of people, they're down from 3,000, both in the brain and the heart, down to maybe 300. So I do a lot of work building up mitochondrial production. Makes you younger, healthier, stronger, and better endurance. So it's pretty important. So I've just done a pretty big kind of summary of the importance of the green tea and zinc, and the green tea, which has both epigallocatechin gallate and quercetin. So we have very natural things like green tea. What's the big deal? But we do have it in concentrate because some people, that's a lot of green tea, 6 cups a day. But so these are all, nothing is 100% proven. Everything I've mentioned to you has been validated with animal studies and a whole lot of human studies, but they're really saying this is so. We can't quite say that. We can say strong indications and your risks are minimal. I mean, green tea, how big a deal is that? So we have some options here without having to go allopathic that are really, really, really simple. Okay, so those are things for you to consider in the big picture. So, Yosha, do we have time? We have time for some questions here to answer it. Incidentally, I'm a little bit in my titsits here. It's a very hot here in Arizona. Our average temperature yesterday was 103, and I don't have air conditioning. I don't do a lot of that. So I'm adjusting a little bit lighter today. So are there any questions out there?
Yeah, I've got a question that was mailed in here, Rav.
Okay, good.
It says, I have recently observed a sudden downward pushing, depressing energy in my home that feels oppressive in the mornings. I wonder if that is the 5G connection coming on or if this could be a physical issue.
Wow, that's a little complicated. I would actually have to, what they call baliology. I'd have to check out your home, check out you. So I can't answer it the way you're saying. We know that 5G affects your mental state. That's a fact. There's over 10,000 studies. Some people say over 25,000 studies with 10,000 at least with 4G. So 5G is worse. So we know all that's there. What I would do from the point of not knowing, okay, we got to be clear, we don't know, is up on our website, we have a whole lot of protection against 5G for your home, for yourself. So I wear a special thing called the Freedom Pendant from Tachyon. And we also use Tachyon technology in our cars and also in our houses to prevent the 5G from getting into the system. So I would start with something simple like that. Let's protect your place from 5G. So that's probably the first question is, do you have 5G in your area? Not every place in the United States or around the world has 5G. So that's how I would start. Second thing I would do is I would look very closely what I've been recommending for your overall well-being, which is my whole protocol, which includes everything we mentioned. I've kind of added the 6 cups of green tea now. So we want to energize you. Okay, that's a second piece, and protect you. Third piece is there may be different energies in your home, and fourth piece may be that you would need a holistic healing flow, which I do. I call it the whole person healing. To figure out if something's going on for you, whether you have neurotransmitter deficiencies. So there's lots and lots and lots of, how do I put it, possibilities. You could start simple with protecting yourself, your home against 5G. You can get that all at our website, so drcousens.com, or you can go to treeoflife.mn.co. And we have the protocols, and we have how you can do a whole person healing and so forth. So all that's available because there isn't one definite thing at this point. You have to be researchers on this. Okay, go ahead. Any other questions?
Henry, go ahead.
Hello, Rabbi. Hope all is well. Nice to see you again.
Yes,
I had a quick question about zinc. Is there any particular form of zinc that you should take? Because I know that sometimes, like with magnesium, certain forms are not as good as other ones. So that was a simple question that I had. Any particular type of zinc?
Excellent question. And the answer is we do the angstrom zinc. It goes right into your system. And generally speaking, what I've seen is people do 1 teaspoon twice a day. You hold on your tongue for 30 seconds, boom, it goes right in. That's the most absorbable zinc, period. Okay.
What's the name again?
It's called angstrom zinc
Okay, got it.
It,
Angstrom. Good.
yeah.
Thank
And
you.
get it from our online store, Dr. Cousens online store.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the easiest, best, and it's kind of what I'm taking. And what on the average, 1 teaspoon twice a day. Hold on your tongue 30 seconds.
Thank you.
Good question. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, we've got a question from YouTube. Individual says, I have congestive heart failure. Are there any precautions for today's suggestions?
No. What we're saying is the quercetin, for example, increases your mitochondria. Mitochondria are the energy factories in your cells, particularly your heart and your brain. So they're going to increase the quality of your heart function. That's just a fact, okay? So, and so it'll be more protective against congestive heart failure because it will strengthen your heart muscle. Well, it'll strengthen your heart cells, which will strengthen your heart muscle. It's a good question. Any other questions?
That's it at this point.
Okay, how are we doing in time? Okay, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into meditation. I'm going to dance for 3 minutes. Dr. Rabbi Nachman, 18th century, 1802, said we dance to get rid of the evil decrees of the state. So this is not a new idea, okay? And also to kind of weaken evil influence over us. So we're going to dance for 3 minutes. Then we're going to go into meditation. And the technique of meditation, pretty simple. So we sit quietly, we sit comfortably, we observe what goes on without judging it. Then we repeat a mantra. In this case, it's the name of God that Moses got from the burning bush, but also what Jesus or Jesus taught to his disciples. It's Yod on the in-breath, Hey on the out-breath, Wah on the in-breath, Hey on the out-breath. Yod from the base to the heart, Hey out to the heart. Wah from the base to the third eye, which we call D. In Kabbalah, it's D-A-A-T, and then Hey out to the heart again. We're merging the heart and the mind. You simply repeat that until your mind's quiet. Then you're in meditation. You move from contemplation to meditation. That's how it works. So when your mind's quiet, you let go of the mantra, okay? And stay in that silence. Now, this meditation takes us beyond the mind, okay? It takes us even beyond the big mind that we talk about in Zen Buddhism and so forth. It takes us into the nothing potentially. So just know that and don't put a limitation of how it should be. That's important. Now, the other thing, after dancing, I'm going to come back, and I've been empowered by my spiritual teachers by look, by touch, which we can't do right now because of the condition of the world, and by sound to help awaken the spiritual energy, which in the Eastern tradition is called Kundalini. Western tradition we call the Ruach HaKodesh. So the energy comes through me, into my, through my eyes, into you. So that's what we can do here in the gift of internet. Okay, so we're going to do that, and that energy can help awaken the spiritual energy, Ruach HaKodesh, and also, the Kundalini, same thing, burn karma, and a little bit of my soul actually goes in. That's the traditional teaching in both the Western and Eastern traditions. The Baal Shem Tov, the great mystic, founder of Hasidic movement, 1698 to 1760, said, yeah, a bit of my soul goes into you as I'm teaching. So that's just, I'm going to say traditional, but it's what's happening. It's an empowerment. Don't worry about me. I have a great influx coming in. It's endless. I joke of being about an ever-ready battery. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to dance, and I encourage you to dance with me. But at least I'll be dancing, and then we'll sit and I'll kind of look into, focus on this, and then we'll be in meditation, and then we'll have a little sharing after the meditation. So that's it. Yosha, I just want to check if there are any other questions before we begin. And we will meditate about 15 minutes.
No other questions at this time.
Okay, so now we're going to move to the dance area. Here we go. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to move the microphone. I'm just going to leave it because we're just dancing. But I'm going to just turn up the sound a little bit. And here we go.
This is a world makeover. Mashiach will come take over. You ain't gotta be me or see what I see. All you gotta do is take a look forward. Lift up your eye to the sky. Spread out your hands. Say thank you, smile. Get them up, put them up, leave them up. Ha ha. Yeah, pump up the volume every day. Stand in place. Heart racing, no words to say. Pressure building, trying to hold my face. Mind drifting like not today. Wake up from everything. Break out your shell and scream. Ha, Shim, you're the king. Ha, Shim, you're the king. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Imloch, Leolam Va'ed. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Imloch. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Imloch, Leolam Va'ed. Hashem Melech, Malach, Hashem Imloch, Leolam Va'ed. I feel the cold in the rain. I wanna get up and leave it. Everything's always the same. I wanna get up and leave. Now we're standing here and the night's so clear, like the shine upon your crown. Yeah, we're up so high in the midnight sky, and we'll never come back down. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, our Father, King David's rock your honor. We give our life the stronger. We clean you dry. The blessing, the bracha, success, hatzlacha. The world is yours. You offer it to whomever calls you. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Imloch, Leolam Va'ed. Hashem Melech, Malach, Hashem Imloch, Leolam Va'ed. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Imloch, Leolam Va'ed. Hashem Melech, Malach, Hashem Imloch, Leolam Va'ed. Yeah. Wake up, my friend, we gone. We praising Hashem with all of ourselves.
Okay, great. Now, just focus on the energy coming through. And here we go. Yo. And now we go into meditation. Yo, and then breath. Hey, and out breath. Wah, and then breath. Hey, and out breath. Okay, very good. Set my timer. And we're ready. Okay. Slowly come out of meditation. Take your time. And so after meditation, I usually check for sharing people's experiences so that people understand what's going on. So did anybody feel unusual heat or movements or vibrations or see any particular colors, things like that? Anyone sharing there, Yoshua?
At this point.
Okay, we'll just wait a minute more. So can you read that, what Michelle said? I only get half the sentence. That's why I said that.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. I felt like a invisible fire coming through the top of my crown.
Okay.
Not a heat, but just the feeling of like there was fire coming out of my crown
So
chakra.
that's a good sign that the Kundalini or Ruach HaKodesh has been awakened.
Oh, wow, good.
Yeah, that's why we do the feedback, so you can get what's going on. Yeah,
Cool, thank you.
congratulations, good. And we're doing this meditation. We have our Thursdays. Every morning at 9, we have a 10-minute meditation, like I did this morning, Monday through Friday. And once a month, we're having a meditation intensive where we're meditating 3 times a day. Now, why am I saying that? Because the more once you awaken, you want to feed it. You want to feed the Kundalini, keep the fire going. That's why that's there, especially in these difficult times.
Cool.
So great. Joshua, did you say something?
No, but we have a comment on Facebook, energy vibrations and fluorescent colors.
Okay. Well, that's just, again, start. It's a sign the Kundalini is awakened. Where were the vibrations? What kind of colors?
It'll just take a minute because there's a delay because it goes to
Sure.
no response yet.
Okay, so the fluorescent colors, particularly if you're looking at, greens for the heart and blues and white and gold for the crown area, are all signs that that's what we call the supercausal body, and a sign that the Kundalini Ruach HaKodesh has been awakened. So great. Anybody, any other sharing?
She wrote back, she said pinks, orange, and yellow.
Okay, so that's a little bit including the first, second, and third chakra. It's below the first chakra where the Kundalini is stored in the Yukta Trivini, the 3 rivers coming together. So that's good. That's consistent with the Kundalini being awakened from the base. Great. Okay, any others? Okay, so I'm just going to mention again, in this kind of world situation, and people are listening to me from all over the world, I thank you for listening and giving the good feedback. We're here to support you. We have kind of you can go to drcousens.com and that will kind of direct you to the different things. But treeoflife.mn, Mighty Networks.co is where all my programs are. And what other programs? Every morning for 9 o'clock to about 9:20, roughly speaking. Sometimes it's 9:05. We do a Shaktipat meditation for 10 minutes and then a little discussion on a little topic. Today it was just say no, just like what you would say to your teenage daughter, okay? Or to your teenage son about different things. So just say no. A lot of social pressure. People have to be able to just say no. So that's Monday through Friday, 9 to about 9:20, something like that. Then we have the monthly meditation intensives Friday night through Saturday, Sunday. And then we have this on Thursdays around the world. So you're invited to check in and join. We're building this kind of alternate website, which is again, treeoflife.mn.co. So you're all invited to continue to come and share this with other people. Anything else, Yehoshua, before we end?
No, Nothing coming in.
Okay, so I give blessings to everyone. May this energy awakening you take you to the deepest understandings of who you are. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh, Mitakuasin. Aho.